So very good morning to one and all. So in the previous lecture, we had discussed about the basics of electric current. So we are seeing about the basics of electric current. So what is the resistance and resistivity, conductance and the conductivity? Okay. So and also how the resistance of a material will be changes was also learned. Okay. And coming to today's lecture, so it is Ohm's law. Ohm's law. So what is the Ohm's law? So what purpose we can use this Ohm's law? So that we'll see. So Ohm's law. So it is found by a German mathematician George Simon Ohm. Okay, in about 1827, and formulated a well-known law. It is known as Ohm's law. So this law is applies to electric conduction through good conductors and may be stated as follows. It is the ratio of potential difference. It is the ratio of potential difference between any 2 points on a conductor to current flowing between them is constant, provided the temperature of the conductor is not changing. So here, so we have Ohm's law. Ohm's law states that the potential difference between any 2 points of a conductor, okay, and the current flowing through the current I, okay, and the ratio of these two is constant. The ratio of these two is constant. It means the ratio of potential difference and the current. So potential difference is represented by letter V and the current is represented by letter I, and ratio of these two will give a constant. So what's the problem? Mr. 5017 number 17, Shoshankar. So it is nothing but V by I is equals to constant, or V by I is equals to R. So R is nothing but the proportionality constant, and V by I is equals to R. So the ratio of voltage or potential difference across any 2 points is to the potential difference across 2 points of a conductor to the current through that conductor is equals to the constant. That constant is equals to resistance. So that is the resistance R. So here, so V by I is equals to R. V by I is equals to R, or V is equals to I into R. So I think all of you know this one. So V is equals to I into R. So V is nothing but the voltage. Okay, voltage, and I is the resistance, I is the current, and R is the resistance. So the product of the I into R gives the voltage. I into R gives the voltage. Similarly, V by I gives the R. V by I gives the R. Similarly, R by, okay, so V is I is equals to V by R. I is equals to V by R. Okay, I is equals to V by R. Like this, with these 3 parameters, we can obtain any one parameter if you know the other 2 parameters. If we know the other 2 parameters, we can get any one parameter. With this V by I is equals to R. This is the Ohm's law. It is the Ohm's law. So, and before going to further chapters, we have to know the different combinations of the resistors. So we have to know the different combinations of the resistors. Okay. So here uh, resistors are in series. Resistors are in series. Okay. So resistor is nothing but resistor is represented in this way. Okay. So this is the R1. When two resistors are connected in series, resistors are represented by this symbol. Okay. So this is the resistance R1 and this is the resistance R2. So when two resistors are connected in series, what is the net resistance value or equivalent resistance value? So equal resistance value, when two resistors are connected in series, we can add those two resistors, R1 plus R2. R1 plus R2 is the net resistance value or equivalent resistance value. Okay. So when two resistors are connected in series, the summation of the two resistance values will give the equivalent resistance of these two resistors. Suppose we are connected one more resistor in series, connected in series, that is R3 is connected R3. Then also we will add all the resistors in series. Okay. So this resistor R1, R2, R3 are connected in series. Okay. So then we will get the equivalent resistance of R3 also added to R1, R2. R1 plus R2 plus R3 gives the equivalent resistance of these three resistors are in series. Okay. Okay. So when the here this diagram will shows the uh, so here, so this diagram will shows three resistors R1, R2, R3 are connected in series, and these are connected to a voltage source V, and the current flowing through this circuit is I. The current flowing through this circuit is I. Okay. Okay. Here we have to remember that. So when there is a current is flowing through a series circuit, the current is constant. When the current is flowing through a series circuit, okay, the current is constant. The current does not change. Okay. So but there is a change in voltage. The change in voltage is considered as voltage drop. Due to resistors are present, these resistors will oppose the flow of the current some sort. Okay, some sort of the current will be opposes. Okay, up to that particular resistance value it will be opposes. Depending upon the resistance value, it will opposes, and remaining current will be flow through this circuit. Okay, so that is because of this current I and the R1, this R1 resistance will drop some voltage. The total voltage is applied is V. Okay, this voltage, some sort of the voltage will be dropped by this resistor R1. So that is potential drop or voltage drop. Potential drop or voltage drop. So across this resistor A and B terminals of the resistor R1, we have a voltage drop of V1. We have a voltage drop of V1. Similarly, the current will be passes through this circuit, okay, and the current is constant. But the due to resistance value, the voltage will be changes across each resistor, okay. So due to R2, across it is connected between B and C. R2 resistor is connected between B and C, and the due to current I and applied voltage V, we have some voltage drop V2. Similarly, for R3 resistor, we have a voltage drop of V3. So in the right side figure, we are seeing. So this is the change of the V1 due to resistor R1. This is the voltage drop. Actually, it is at this point of initially the voltage is at this point A. Okay, this much value of voltage. Due to the voltage drop across R1, the voltage applied voltage is dropped to this position. Dropped to this position. This is because of the resistor, the value of the resistor. After B, the due to resistor R2, again there is a voltage drop, and that voltage drop is from B to C, that is V2. B to C, that is V2. And similarly, from C to D, there is a voltage drop, that is V3. C to D, this is the V3. And summation of all these three voltage drops is equals to applied voltage V. Summation of all these three voltages V1, V2, V3 gives the total applied voltage. Total applied voltage. Okay. So here V1 V is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. Okay. I want to find the V2. So how I will find out? So V2 is equals to, and this V2 is the drop across. This V2 is the drop across resistor R2. So we know the formula Ohm's law, V is equals to I into R. We know the formula V is equals to I into R. Okay. So here we have to find the voltage drop across V2 is equals to the current flowing through this circuit is I. The current flowing through this circuit is I, and the resistance R is R2. Okay. That gives the voltage drop value of I into R. That is from Ohm's law. Ohm's law. Okay. Okay. Suppose I want to find the voltage drop V3. V3 is I into R3. I into R3, because the current is same in the series circuit. The current is same. Here also I is the same. This is the I current is same to the series circuit. Okay. The voltage drop is nothing but V is equals to I into R from the Ohm's law. Okay. I is the total current. Okay. And R3 is the resistance. Okay. Like this, we have to find out the voltage drops V2, V3, and similarly V1. V1 is nothing but I1 I into R1. V1 is equals to so one of our friend was asked that, so what is the difference between voltage and current? Voltage and current. Okay. So voltage is the source. Okay. So it is voltage is nothing but the difference of the charge carriers. So voltage is nothing but, we can say it is a potential wait 1 second. So this is the representation of the battery. Okay, so this, it is having some voltage of 5 volts. It is having a difference of 5 volts. You can say it is a voltage. We are saying it is a voltage. So how we can say it is voltage means, voltage is nothing but separation of the charge carriers. So what are the charge carriers? We have positive charge carriers and negative charge carriers. Positive charge carriers and negative charge carriers. Here this is the symbol of battery, and this is the having a plus, and this is having a negative. So why we are saying that it is plus and this is negative means, this terminal, long terminal is considered as a positive terminal and a small terminal is considered as a negative terminal. Okay, so because this terminal is having a positive charge carriers, isn't it? It is having positive charge carriers, and this negative terminal is having negative charge carriers. So by battery or voltage sources, what we are making is, we are separating two charge carriers. It means we are creating some potential difference. We are creating some potential difference. So this is the positive potential. This is the positive potential, and this is the negative potential. So I think all of you know that positive charge carriers and negative charge carriers are equal, but there is a opposite. Okay, so that's why we are separating two charge carriers, positive and negative. Okay, so by separating, we are not connected here, so we are separating between these two charge carriers. In between we have some insulation. Okay, so that's why these positive and negative charge carriers are not connected at all. So if you connect a resistor or some wire is connected, so then what happens? The electrons will try to reach the positive charge carriers. So I think you may study it in chemistry, that is electrons, when the positive charge carriers are nothing but the holes, okay, and the negative charge carriers are something electrons. Okay, so when there is a short circuit will be, or there is two potential differences are connected, then what happens? One electron will be moves into hole. Okay, and again the next electron will be comes into this particular previous hole. So like that, the electrons will be travels. So that we will see in the first slide. So how the electrons will be travels from negative to positive. Okay, so here voltage is nothing but difference of the charge carriers will be considered as the voltage. When these charge carriers are connected, the electrons will be try to move towards the positive charge carriers. Negative charge potential will be try to reach the positive charge carriers, and the flow of this or the movement of these electrons will be considered as the current. Please remember this one, because this is very important. I am saying these concepts. So here we have two charge carriers, positive charge carrier and negative charge carriers, and these two are maintaining difference. Okay, separation. So we are not jointed here, not connected any wire. We are connected some external wire. Then what happens? Due to some potential difference, these electrons will get some energy. Okay, and these electrons will try to reach the positive charge carriers. Okay, then what happens? Okay, so this is then the current will be flows through this wire. It means the electrons movement. So current is nothing but the amount of the current flow, electrons movement. So current is nothing but the movement of the electrons is nothing but the current. Okay, current is resultant of the applied potential. Without voltage, there is no current. Due to the voltage only, we will get the current when that voltage is connected to some circuit. I think you are catching my points. When the voltage source is there, suppose we have a battery. So in the wall clock, we use a small battery. Okay, there is a separation of positive and negative. Okay, when this battery is connected, okay, so then the electrons will be tries to move towards the positive side. Okay, due to that, the current will be starts flowing. The current will be starts flowing. Okay, so current is nothing but the flow of electrons. Current is nothing but the flow of electrons, and voltage is nothing but difference of the two potentials. Two potentials. Okay, I think you got the answer.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay, suppose here we have a circuit. It is having a voltage source is there, and this voltage source is connected to the three resistors. Okay, and when we are connected these three resistors, the current is flowing from the source. That is, electrons will be flows from this point and flows through these resistors and reaches the another side of the potential. Another side of the potential. So due to this current, there is some voltage drops will be occurs that we are discussing. How we can find this voltage drop is nothing but V1 is equals to the current I and resistance. This is how we can measure, means by using the Ohm's law. By using the Ohm's law. Okay. Suppose we have a voltage of 15 volts is there. Assume that we have a voltage of 15 volts. Okay, and each resistor is having a 5 ohms resistor. Each resistor is having a resistance of 5 ohms. Okay, so then what is the current I? So we have a voltage source of 15 volts, and we have resistors R1, R2, R3. Each resistor is having a 5 ohms value of resistance. So then we can find out the I. So I is equals to V by R. V by R. Okay. So V is given as 15, and R is here. We have number of resistors R1, R2, R3. If you have single resistance, then what happens? 15 by 5. That is 3 amperes. But here we have 3 resistors, and these 3 resistors are connected in series. That's why when resistors are connected in series, the total resistance is becomes as added. Each resistor is added. So that is 5 plus 5 plus 5. So it is becomes as 15. So total applied voltage is the 15. The applied voltage is the 15, and the total resistance we are connected is 15 ohms. 5 plus 5 plus 5. Okay, so that becomes as 1. It is 1 ampere of current. 1 ampere of current. Okay, so we are find the 1 ampere current. This is the current line. Suppose I want to find out the V2. Suppose I want to find out the V2. So I know the value of R2. I know the value of I. Okay, so I know the value of R2 and I know the value of I. So V2 is equals to I into R2. I is 1 ampere and R2 is the 5 into 5. That becomes as 5 volts. V2 is the 5 volts. Similarly, we can find out the V3. To find out the V3, we require I and R3. R3 is, we know, that is 5 ohms, and we know the I. I is 1 ampere. 1 ampere into 5. Again, it is 5 volts. Okay. And similarly for V1, it is also 5 volts because resistance R is 5 and current I is the 1 ampere. It is also 5 volts. Okay. So now the total voltage, applied voltage V is the sum of the V1 plus V2 plus V3. Sum of the V1 plus V2 plus V3. V1 is 5 volts, V2 is 5, and V3 is 5. Total it is 15. So hence V is equals to total voltage. Approved. Okay, proved. It is proved. It is equals to V. So the amount of applied voltage is equal. I mean, it is distributed among the equal resistors, depending upon the resistor value. Depending upon the resistor value. If the resistor value is very high, the most of the voltage is dropped here only. The resistance value is low, small value of voltage will be drops. That's why we can say the total applied voltage is equals to V1 plus V2 plus V3. This V2 may be high, this V3 may be low. That depends upon the applied the value of the resistance. The voltage values V1, V2, V3 depends upon the applied resistance value or connected resistance value. Okay. So like this we can find out the individual voltage drops. Here we can say it is a voltage drop. Remember that we will use a word voltage drop across the resistor. Across the resistor we can say it is voltage drop. We cannot say it is potential difference, because across these two terminals there is a drop in the voltage. Voltage will be decreases. Due to that we can say this V1 is nothing but the voltage drop, whereas V is nothing but the source. It is a source, it will supplies the voltage. It supplies the voltage, whereas V1 is the voltage drop. Similarly V2 also, V3 also. V1, V2, V3 are voltage drops. So applied voltage is equals to the sum of the individual voltage drops. Clear? Can we change current without changing voltage? So another question is there, that is can we change current without changing voltage? So we cannot change the current, okay, without changing the voltage. So with this voltage we will get some current. That current will depends upon this applied voltage. The current will depends upon how much potential difference you are applied. Based upon that this current will be generated. Okay, so this is the source and this is the effect. Okay, I follows the voltage, not I does not V does not follows the I depends on the V here. Okay, yeah. So that is nothing but the another one is but changing resistance, the current can be changed. By changing the resistance, the current can be changed. Okay, so what current we are changing? So here we are we have 1 amperes of I will explain. Here we have 1 ampere of current here. Okay, so by changing the here we have like a potentiometer will be there, a potentiometer. So with this potentiometer we can adjust the current through flowing through this circuit. Okay, so it means we are changing the resistance here. Okay, so it will changes the amount of current flowing only. So this 1 ampere current only it will changes. Okay, not above this one. Below this 1 ampere current only it will be changes, not above the 1 ampere. So how much current it is flowing through this circuit, that much current only we can adjust. Suppose I want to, suppose now we are saying that it is conducting 1 ampere of current. Okay, I want to adjust 0.5 amperes of current, 0.5 amperes of current. Then what I have to do? The present resistance is 15 ohms. 15 ohms. So I have to increase the resistance. I have to increase the resistance to 30 ohms. Then what happens? We are increased the resistance, and due to that the current will be decreases. Okay. Now it is due to 15 ohms resistance, we have a current of 1 ampere. Now I want a current of 0.5. It means I am making 1 ampere to half of this one, so that is 0.5 amperes. To make this 0.5 amperes, I have to change this resistance 15 to 30. So I have double the resistance. By that we can control the current here. So that's why by using a resistance we can control the current which is flowing through the circuit. Okay, so for that changing resistance we can use the potentiometers. So every time we can't change these elements, so there is a potentiometer will be there. By connecting this potentiometer we can adjust the resistance. This is not like this is like that. So in any TVs or radios we can tune the circuit. Okay, so like that we can adjust the resistance. Okay, knob, you can observe a knob at the front panel of any device. By adjusting that we can change the volume. So nowadays we can get the remote controls. In the olden days TVs, so we can have a rotatable knobs. So with that rotatable knobs we can adjust the volume, we can adjust the brightness or intensity. So like that we have adjustable potentiometers. Those adjustable potentiometers are nothing but the resistors. By changing that value of resistance, by rotating that knob, there is a change of the resistance. By changing of that resistance, there is change of the current, and due to that change of the current there is a change in the volume control. Like that we have vary the current by using the resistors. So that is true, but how much current it is supplied from the source, in that particular current only we can adjust, not above that one. I am saying that. So what is the current we are supplying from source, that current we can adjust below that, but not above that we can't. Okay, so that is the main thing.
హలో సార్.
ఓకే చెప్పండి
సార్. ఇప్పుడు మన అడాప్టర్స్ యూజ్ చేస్తున్నాం కదా సార్.
అడాప్టర్స్ యా
3.0 వోల్ట్.
యా అడాప్టర్స్ అంటే బ్యాటరీ చార్జెస్ కమ్మా.
yes సార్.
చెప్పండి.
వాటిలో 3.7 వోల్ట్స్ నుండి 2 ఆంపియర్స్ కరెంట్ వస్తుంది కదా సార్. ఎలా సార్ అది?
ఆ,
అంటే మీరు ఇప్పుడు 15 వోల్ట్స్ నుండి 1 ఆంపియర్ కరెంట్ మాత్రం వచ్చింది కదా! దాన్ని
ఆ.
డిక్రీజ్ చేయొచ్చు మాత్రం ఇంక్రీజ్ చేయకూడదన్నారు.
అంటే
చేయలేమన్నారు.
అంతే అంతే 1 ఆంపియర్ కంటే ఎక్కువ మనం ప్రొడ్యూస్ చేయలేము. ఎందుకంటే యాక్చువల్ సోర్స్ ఎంత వస్తే అదే కదా మనం చూసుకోవాల్సింది. దానిలోనే ఇంకా తగ్గించుకోవచ్చు, పెంచుకోవచ్చు.
సార్ కానీ మీరిక్కడ అదే 15 వోల్ట్స్ వోల్టేజ్ ఇచ్చినప్పుడు
ఉమ్.
1 ఆంపియర్ కరెంట్ వచ్చింది కదా సార్!
ఆ 1 ఆంపియర్ కరెంట్ దేని బేస్ అయి ఉంది? ఇక్కడ అప్లై చేసిన రెసిస్టెన్స్ వాల్యూస్ బేస్ అయి ఉందన్నమాట.
రెసిస్టెన్స్ చేంజ్ అయినప్పుడు కరెంట్ కూడా చేంజ్ అవుతుంది సార్?
చేంజ్ అవుతుంది. ఎట్లా అంటావా?
ఓకే సార్.
నేను చెప్పనా నీకు? సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే సపోజ్ ఇప్పుడు ఎండాకాలం వచ్చింది. సో ఇనిషియల్‌గా ఏంటంటే మామూలుగా మనకు అందరికి మనకి ఏసీలు అందరికి ఆఫ్ చేస్తున్నాయి. ఎండాకాలం మధ్యాహ్నం అయ్యేసరికి ఏమైద్దంటే ఫుల్ ఏసీలు ఆన్ చేస్తారు. ఇప్పుడేమైద్ది? ఫ్యాన్ స్పీడ్ తగ్గిపోతుందా? ఫ్యాన్ స్పీడ్ తగ్గిపోతుంది. అలాగే కరెంట్ అనేది డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయ్యేటువంటి కరెంట్ అనేది మారిపోతుంటది. సో అక్కడ మనం ఏం చెప్తామంటే లోడ్ అంటాం. లోడ్ అంటే రెసిస్టెన్స్. ఇప్పుడు ఏసీ ఆన్ చేసాం. అంటే ఏసీ అనేది అక్కడ మనకి కొంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ అనేది ఎయిర్ కండిషనర్ మనం. కొంత రెసిస్టెన్స్ అనేది ఉన్నట్లు లెక్క మనం. అలా నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఎయిర్ కండిషన్స్ అంటే నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ ఏసీస్ ఆన్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది? అన్నిటికి డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ అయ్యే కరెంట్ అనేది చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది మనం. సో దానివల్ల ఫ్యాన్స్కి వెళ్ళేటువంటి కరెంట్ తగ్గిపోద్ది. ఎందుకంటే ఏసీలు మనకి ఎక్కువ కరెంట్ లాగేస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ఎక్కువ కరెంట్ లాగుతుంటాయి. సో దానివల్ల మనకి కరెంట్ ఫ్యాన్కి వచ్చే కరెంట్ తగ్గిపోద్ది. అప్పుడు నువ్వు ఎంత ఫుల్ స్పీడ్ పెట్టినా కూడా మనకి ఫ్యాన్ స్పీడ్ తిరగదు. సో ఏంట్రా అబ్బాయి ఎంత ఫుల్ స్పీడ్ పెట్టినా కూడా ఫ్యాన్ స్పీడ్ తిరగట్లేదు చెప్పేసి మనం అనుకుంటాం. సో బికాస్ ఆఫ్ కరెంట్ వెళ్తుంది, కానీ అది ఫుల్ స్పీడ్ తిరగడానికి కావాల్సిన కరెంట్ అనేది రాదు. ఎందుకని? దీనికంటే ఎక్కువ కెపాసిటీ ఉన్నటువంటి అదర్ ఏసీ సోర్సెస్ ఉన్నాయి సరే, అవి దానికి సఫిషియెంట్ కరెంట్ లాగేస్తుంటాయి. ఈ కరెంట్ ఎక్కడి నుంచి వస్తుంది మనకి? జనరేటర్ నుంచి వస్తుంది. సో 230 వోల్ట్స్ మనకి హౌస్ హోల్డ్ పర్పస్ నుంచి హౌస్ హోల్డ్ పర్పస్ కోసం మనకి 230 వోల్ట్స్ విత్ సమ్ 3 ఆంపియర్స్ ఆర్ 5 ఆంపియర్స్ కరెంట్ అనేది మనకి ఈ పోల్స్ ద్వారా మనకు వస్తుంది. ఓకే, అది చేంజ్ అవ్వదు. అది చేంజ్ అవ్వదు. ఎందుకని? మనకి మన వీధి చివర ఒక ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ ఉంటుంది, స్టెప్ డౌన్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్. ఆ స్టెప్ డౌన్ ట్రాన్స్ఫార్మర్ పర్పస్ ఏంటంటే వచ్చినటువంటి హై వోల్టేజ్ ని డిక్రీజ్ చేస్తుంది. అంటే మనకి 110 కేవీ వోల్టేజ్ సోర్సెస్ ఉంటాయి చూడండి మీరు ఎప్పుడన్నా మన పవర్ స్టేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తాయి అంటే మనకి హై వోల్టేజ్ అనేటువంటి జనరేటర్స్ నుంచి ఇది పవర్ స్టేషన్ నుంచి వచ్చినటువంటి పవర్ వోల్టేజ్ ని ఇక్కడికి వచ్చేసరికి డిక్రీజ్ చేస్తామన్నమాట, 230 చేస్తుంది. సో అక్కడి నుంచి మళ్ళీ మనకి ఈ వైర్స్ ద్వారా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేస్తుంది. అలా డిస్ట్రిబ్యూట్ చేసేటప్పుడు కరెంట్ అనేది అన్ని హౌసెస్ కి రీచ్ అవ్వాలి, ఆల్ హౌసెస్ కి రీచ్ కావాలి. అలాగే అన్ని హౌసెస్ రీచ్ అవ్వాలి. సో ఒక్కసారి సడన్ కరెంట్ వచ్చేస్తుంది, హై కరెంట్స్ వచ్చేస్తాం. సో అప్పుడు మనకి అన్ని ఎక్విప్మెంట్స్ కాలిపోతున్నాయి. ఓకే, సో దట్